Hey, what's up, everybody? The physical silver bullion market is dead, struggling, or at least not what it has been over the last several years. We're going to discuss that on this video today. I'm going to give you my thoughts, my opinions. Please consider hitting that thumbs up button on the video and share your thoughts, your opinions in that comment section below. I believe there's a time to buy physical silver bullion and a time to not buy, or maybe just slow down the buying of physical silver bullion. I'll leave those times completely up to you based on your research. But over the last several years, between 2020, especially in 2021, 2022, and maybe the early part in 2023, we saw extremely high premiums on physical silver bullion, especially the American Silver Eagle bullion coin. Over the last several years, I have not been purchasing a lot of physical silver bullion due to the extremely high premiums, especially on American Silver Eagle bullion coins. I was noticing a lot of similarities between 2011, because at that time, maybe between 2009 through 2014, with the very high demand for physical silver bullion and the very high premiums at that time, and some of the same similarities between 2020 and 2022, and maybe even the early part of 2023. And it wasn't so much the silver spot price that was the problem, but it was the very high silver bullion premiums. The silver spot price, with the one or two exceptions where it hit $28, $29 per ounce, but for the most part, silver's been kind of hovering between the 22 and fluctuating between $22 and $24, $25. There was one time in 2022 where the silver spot price did get down to, I believe it was between $17 and $18 per ounce very briefly, but the silver premiums at that time was still very high, and it was very hard to find physical silver during that time for less than $30 some per ounce. And all of these numbers, by the way, that I'm throwing out there is just based off of my memory, based off my recollection. I'm not going through charts and graphs and pulling exact numbers. These are just estimates based off my memory. But there was definitely a lot of hype over many social media platforms, not just one social media platform or two social media platforms, but many social media platforms suggesting buying in to the silver squeeze, silver raids, and very few channels going against them silver squeezes and silver raids, and suggesting that may not be the best idea. Anytime there's a lot of demand going in one direction, I usually prefer to go the opposite way. Now, I was buying most of my physical silver, mainly American Silver Eagles, in 2017 and in 2018, when I was buying American Silver Eagles for less than $20 per coin, usually between $18, $19 per American Silver Eagle. That was usually buying them by the tube, but nonetheless buying American Silver Eagles under $20 per coin. I very much slowed down my physical silver buying in 2019 and more so shifted to gold bullion and more in the silver collectibles. Now, a lot of people may say silver collectibles have too high of a premium, and for a lot of them, I would agree, but the silver coin collectibles that I was buying in 2019, 2020, and in 2021 mostly, most of those prices are up well above the price that I was paying in those years. So I've done much better value-wise over the last few years buying silver collectibles and gold bullion, and mostly staying away from silver bullion. So definitely a lot of hype over the last several years to get people to buy physical silver bullion, a lot of different movements to buy physical silver bullion, and then inflation hit. A lot of inflation, a lot of skyrocketing prices on the goods and services that we all need to buy on a daily basis. And then what happened? That's right. The Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, stepped in to save the day. In 2021 and in 2022, we had skyrocketing prices of food, skyrocketing prices of essentials, skyrocketing prices of energy, skyrocketing prices of gasoline. I suspect that a lot of people, many people who was buying into the high premiums of physical silver bullion probably had to sell for a loss just to make ends meet. And then that's where research comes in. And not just research based on one source or two sources or one platform, this platform, that platform, YouTube, Reddit, Instagram, Facebook, but really doing research based on history. What happened the last time that we seen these high premiums, high demand for physical silver and gold bullion back in 2011, between 2009 to 2013, 2014. And then recently, we're getting live, real-time experience what happens to physical silver bullion markets during a crisis or multiple crises. And those crises include, but may not be limited to, pandemics, wars, and bank closures. There was definitely a lot of fear-mongering going on the last several years, and I don't get into the fear-mongering. I don't like it, I don't buy into it, and I don't do it on this channel. The high silver spot price and high premiums of 2011 has often been referred to as an anomaly, and I think a lot of that could be said the same for 2020 through 2022. But you know what they say, never let a crisis go to waste, and those crises definitely did not go to waste in my opinion, because there was a lot of fear-mongering, in my opinion, surrounding the crisis or those crises, and many people saying for that reason we all need to be buying physical silver and gold bullion. But I definitely think it's a good idea to have some physical silver and gold bullion. Again, do your own research, do your own due diligence, and come to your own conclusions. But I also think there's a time to buy, a time possibly not to buy, maybe a time to buy less, and maybe even a time to sell. You know what they say? Buy low and sell high. But what happened is we had a lot of hype to buy physical silver bullion during a time when there was very high premiums, a lot of rumors that there was silver shortages. Again, in my opinion, there was no silver shortage. There was a supply chain issue where there was not a silver shortage, but there was a lack in silver blanks, silver planchets for the United States Mint, maybe even for privately minted silver rounds and bars, or a shortage in some silver items. There was definitely, in my opinion, a supply chain issue, but never a physical silver shortage, in my opinion. So we had a lot of people buying into the silver bullion hype, buying into the high premiums of silver bullion just a few years ago. Then not too long after, we had very high inflation, very high food prices at the grocery store, gas prices went sky high, energy prices went sky high, and to be honest, I'm not seeing those retreat. Those prices are definitely, in my opinion, for the most part. But there is a lot of shrinkflation, getting less goods for the same amount of money or more money. Prices are definitely not coming back down. Pretty much everybody is paying more money for food, energy, And gas prices did come down a little bit from where they were a couple of years ago or just a few months ago. And then the Federal Reserve jacking up interest rates starting in about March of 2022 to combat inflation. And I'm using those little air quotes, to combat inflation. So high prices in the grocery store, at the gas pump, and for energy, for utilities, possibly even mixed with some job loss. So I suspect a lot of people who was buying into them high premiums for silver, possibly a lot, possibly a few or many, needed to sell and sold for a loss. The result, what we're seeing today in February of 2024, is much lower silver bullion prices. We're also starting to see some silver at spot deals. Now, I don't know where the silver prices are going. I don't ever make predictions. Silver prices are going down, silver prices are going up, or at least very rarely make those type of silver price predictions. And I definitely don't know where the silver premiums are going. Maybe the silver premiums are starting to bottom out, or maybe there's much further for the silver bullion premiums to fall, or maybe silver bullion premiums will go up. That will all depend on how many people's buying. Silver supply and demand. I have no idea where the premiums are going. I have no idea where the silver spot price is going, but I have just recently started buying a little bit more silver bullion than I have been buying in the last several years. Not getting crazy with buying a lot of silver bullion, but just buying a little bit more recently than I have been buying in the last few years. But I definitely like to have some of my savings in physical silver and gold bullion. But the question then is, when do you buy? When do you buy more? When do you buy less? When do you not buy at all? When do you slow down your buying? And maybe even when do you sell? Only you can answer that question based on your research. You know the saying, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Although I think I was sprinting in 2017 and in 2018. But in my opinion, don't do your research, or at least get all of your information from one source, and that includes YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or Reddit. Definitely get your entertainment from these platforms, socialize within these platforms, but not all your research from any one or any of these platforms. But many people, most of us, got first-hand experience, first-hand knowledge going through the last several years in 2020, 2021, 2022, and in 2023, how silver and gold prices, silver and gold bullion premiums react during everything that we experienced in the last several years. On this channel, I like to interact, socialize with the silver and gold precious metals stacking and collecting community. What I'm into, what I'm not into, my likes and dislikes, mintages, sales figures, United States Mint news and information. What I believe could potentially be a high mintage or low mintage based on my opinion. But what I do not do on this channel is ever tell you what you should or shouldn't buy. That's not my place to do so. I don't know what anybody's financial situation is but my own. Nobody on YouTube or any of these social media platforms knows what your financial situation is, only you do. And in my opinion, none of us should be telling you where you need to be putting your hard-earned money, and that's why I don't. Please don't forget to hit that thumbs up button on the video. I do appreciate everybody for taking time out of your day to watch, listen to this video. Definitely let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll talk to everybody on my next video. Thanks a lot, everyone.